I'm calling all Lisa's today to review all the products I've fully used up in 2020.
Hello.
I actually filmed a full-on what's in my cabinet video.
Dude, YouTubing is hard, man. I am thirsty as a
but it was such a struggle.
So I've decided that
And then I got a phone call and I started crying. So there's that. Then I collected everything I used and prepared a super aesthetic quarantine empties. But then I moved cities and then recycled all of those bottles. But of course I've used more products since then, and then I kept those. So this video is like a Frankenstein of all the stuff. All my iterations, in no particular order, and somehow internally consistent. I feel I didn't get to do much this year. I just quarantined at home, got pimples, tried to eradicate those pimples, and I guess I did a few other things too, but the pimples were the most emotional.
2020 really coming through for me with these two fresh pimples.
I know that before I moved to San Diego, I was about to film like my quarterly favorites, and I had a whole bunch of skincare that I used up in the beginning of the quarantine. I'm gonna try to incorporate that into this video, and so you'll see some like super random clips from Sacramento. It felt really good this year to empty products. I usually am so busy acquiring new products and testing out new products that I never really finish a product. So for me to show you this many empty bottles is a real accomplishment in my life at seeing something through, being methodical, being scientific, and patient with my skincare. I think it's also no coincidence that my skin is nicer than it's ever been. As I get older, I'm getting out of my acne phase. Thank the old gods and the new. Overall too, I've simplified my skincare routine and I use only the gentlest of products, and I think that's really helping. I really loved these two sunscreens this year, Biossance Squalane plus Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. This one's only SPF 30, but if you are a fan of physical sunscreens and you need a sunscreen to wear every day while you work, even if you're working indoors, but if you're by a window, SPF 30 should do the trick. And this is a really good sheer sunscreen as advertised. This one is a chemical sunscreen. So I think Biore UV Rich Watery Gel, it's SPF 50 and has PA++++, which means that it is one of the highest levels of UVA protection in addition to the SPF 50, which only indicates UVB protection. So this is a cult classic and favorite amongst Asian consumers and even Americans that buy this online. But what might be irritating about some chemical sunscreens like this Biore one is that it has alcohol in it in order to promote that quick absorption, and some people feel irritated by that. But like I mentioned, I love both of these and I think they're worth the investment because your skin is your largest organ, and I fully intend to have healthy, non-damaged skin for as long as I can. All right, let's just keep it scientific. These are prescription face creams that I got through my primary care physician. Some of you may need to go through a dermatologist referral in order to be prescribed retinoid or Tretinoin, which would be the brand. So my first retinoid cream that I got prescribed to me is a 0.025 retinoid. I'm privileged enough to have health insurance and pay $10 out of pocket for a tube of cream. This first one lasted me more than 2 years because I was really delicate, and I used a pea-sized amount every other night. I skipped so many nights too because I was just building up the ritual of putting on Tretinoin. And then my second tube, which I got I think late last year, is a bump up of that prescription at 0.05%. I'll put anything here that I'm missing about retinoid, but off the top of my head, it's a vitamin A derivative to put onto your face that does not require that much processing. That will help draw in moisture to your skin, occlude moisture from leaving your skin through transepidermal water loss, and promote collagen production, fight off free radicals, and overall heal your skin from the damage of UV rays. And mostly doctors will initiate the prescription if you have severe acne. In my case, I just requested it. I talked to my doctor about the use, and I said I had researched Tretinoin. I'm very interested in a prescription of tretinoin and that I'm aware of how much time it takes to build up to a certain amount of tretinoin my skin can tolerate. When you are prescribed something like tretinoin, work your way up by using just a little bit every other night, and make sure that you're not mixing too many skincare ingredients. Read up and research on what works and what doesn't work with tretinoin, and most of all, just prioritize using tretinoin well, letting it do its work without, messing with too many other chemical ingredients. Okay, so I also used up this. The Ordinary brand Niacinamide is a really great supplemental serum that you can put onto your face. The way I would apply this is after washing my face in the morning, and while it's still damp, I don't towel dry my face, but when it's no longer drenched and wet, but rather just like moist and damp, then I'll come in with this niacinamide. And what it does is it preserves the moisture that is already on your face, because if it doesn't have moisture, there's no water for the niacinamide to draw in. I mentioned transepidermal water loss earlier, and that's going to be the process by which your skin is evaporating water out of its deeper dermis layers. You want to prevent that. Niacinamide and any other humectants are going to do the work of retaining water on your top layer of your skin, the epidermis. Any products that contain niacinamide are going to be really great at being absorbers. Obviously, The Ordinary is super affordable too. You know you love something if you use a lot of it. Both of these are empty, and I think I'm not working through one right now. I'm using a dupe, but Hota Labo's Skin Plumping Gel Cream is my absolute favorite humectant of all time. This has mainly hyaluronic acid working as the humectant. So I mentioned niacinamide, hyaluronic acid is also another humectant. And this gel cream I would apply the same way. When my face is moist, I'll just put this on, and then I'll seal it all in with a moisturizer. And I just want to take a moment to talk about dry skin versus oily skin, or hyperpigmentation and wrinkling versus acne and oiliness. It seems to be contrived through marketing to make people believe that they are part of one skin camp or another. And while that may be true to some degree, what's working on the inside within your dermis is actually quite consistent across all of us. And just like how all people should generally have a healthy diet, I think that what I've found through my research is that all people should have healthy skincare practices. Nobody is more immune to, disease or inflammation than another on any meaningful level. There might be slight variations between when your skin burns versus when my skin burns, or whether or not your skin tans more or less than my skin tans, but that doesn't mean that either of us is more immune to melasma or hyperpigmentation, wrinkling, or sun damage and skin cancer. So when it comes to the very important outcomes of skincare, the best thing you can do for your skin is just to follow the steps that would make it as moist and plump as possible, as well as protecting it from the sun. I highly recommend using a product, any humectant product, that will seal in moisture in your skin. This is my favorite. My second favorite is what I'm using right now, the Neutrogena Hydroboost Gel Cream, specifically for extra dry skin. The version that is not for extra dry skin has fragrance in it, I believe. Yeah, and so usually a little hack I like to employ is buying the things for sensitive skin, because they will remove the fragrance from that formulation. Fragrance does nothing for your skin. It's just a sensory experience for the user, but it can create potential allergic reactions. And if you're not allergic to fragrances immediately, you can develop an allergic reaction in the future. And so for me, it's just rarely ever worth it to put fragrance on my face. There are so many products that don't have fragrance. On top of that, they tend to be cheaper too. So this is a very drugstore brand, Neutrogena. And the gel cream is very similar to the Hota Labo in that when your face is moist after washing, you want to put on a layer of this gel cream. What do you do on top to seal in all that moisture you've created? I like to use Cerave moisturizing cream in a tub. I've gone through a bajillion of these in my life now. I am a huge fan. So everywhere from your face to your body, you can use Cerave products. Cerave products all have ceramides. Ceramides are humectants as well. In addition to being occlusive, meaning it seals in whatever is underneath it, it is also a bit of a humectant. So constantly pulling water to the surface of your skin, absorbing water from the ambient air, and making sure that your skin is just never really crackly and dry. It's really lofty to say that something that's sold at Walmart and Target is going to do that, but I want people to understand that just because another moisturizer costs 4 times as much doesn't mean that it's any better. Usually the difference is in the packaging. So obviously Sephora can't sell something that looks like this. Sephora has to sell something that's in a glass jar, that has a luxurious feel, that has been marketed on Instagram, and that is not free. This is a Victoria's Secret lotion that I got as a trial size. Not the only trial I got in 2020. I thought I would just throw this in here because I was so pleasantly surprised by this. It's called Coco Lotion, Coco Oil Hydrating Body Lotion by Pink. If you're in the market for a total sensory experience, you want something that glides on like coconut oil but does not leave an oily, greasy residue, but instead leaves a silky feeling and an amazing strong fragrance, this is for you. I'm not gonna go out and buy the full-size product, but the one night that I put this all over my body, it felt amazing. And yeah, as you can predict, this is just water, mineral oil, which is not harmful. And then a ton of fragrance, which is potentially harmful. So just know that if you're buying your lotion or other sensory products from stores like Victoria's Secret or even Bath & Body Works, that it's mainly going to be a sensory fragrance experience and not necessarily quality skincare. And so I wanted to make a note about that and also share that I'm not hating. I just think that everything has a time and a place. I would never put something like this on my face though. I didn't wear a lot of makeup in 2020, and so I only have one favorite, and that's the Tarte brand Lights Camera Lashes mascara. This mascara is pretty good on Asian eyelashes. It doesn't clump. It's like not wet. It's kind of a clay-like substance. So if you like a thick but spreadable mascara and you don't have particularly long eyelashes, I find that this adds a lot of dimension and color to the lashes, and I don't know. I'm no guru. I think this does the trick. I mentioned Hota Labo before, but I love their face masks as well. These are going to be kind of like this, but more concentrated. So on like a special evening, I'll put on a Hota Labo face mask. I do a lot of skincare research in this area. Believe me, face masks are mostly like kind of bad for your skin. If you're shopping for them, try to avoid fragrance, try to avoid dyes, and then try to avoid those like super long lists of like natural ingredients, because every single natural oil is a potential irritant for you. So if you're like me and you don't have any specific allergens, you want to play it safe, Hota Labo face masks are the way to go. So the sun is promptly setting. I have a few more products. I might voice over the rest, I don't know. JM Solution is a brand of masks that I found at a Korean grocery store. It's called H Mart. It's not the grocery store. It's like the skin store outside connected in the grocery. Whatever. JM Solution has multiple face masks that I found in the store. I was there for like half an hour reading the ingredients of every single face mask. I found these two to have kind of like a low danger score. The Jellyfish Vital Mask has hyaluronic acid, as I mentioned. Glycerin is usually a top ingredient in face masks, and that's also a humectant. And let's see, it has calendula extract, which has been found to be soothing for skin and redness. The good thing is that I don't see any dyes or any fragrances. Jellyfish, 100% in particular have an excretion that is good for your skin. It's a humectant. Everything that promotes moisture is categorized as a humectant. I mean, they come from the water. Bird's nest is another kind of controversial ingredient. This face mask, I just gave it a go. I think it was fine too, but I would always choose the Hota Labo face masks. And unfortunately, this one has fragrance in it, but it also has a lot of the same ones the other mask had. So hyaluronic acid, glucose, calendula. Also, I think I've read some good findings on Artemisia extract, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's perhaps anti-inflammatory. Another lotion that I want to recommend because I emptied it this year is the Eucerin Advanced Repair Lotion. I think this is a solid body lotion because it's like, it's kind of oily. It's really thick and really good for dry skin. And I know we're all washing our hands so much these days that we need to constantly reapply lotion, but you know, one application of this in the evening before you sleep can go a long way in keeping your skin moisturized throughout the night. So if you are in the market for a heavy cream, which yes, is gonna leave an oily residue and feeling, maybe something that you sleep in rather than like you have to tolerate throughout the day, then I recommend this Eucerin. And you know, don't be fooled by department stores that try to sell you body butters or body creams that are like $48. I would just stick with drugstore brands that emphasize shea butter or coconut oil, the things that have been well tested and proven to be moisturizing and occluding to the skin. So once again, a little lesson on occlusives. Occlusives are going to be your lotions or your creams, and what they do is they trap in whatever's underneath them. So if you have super dry skin and you put an occlusive on top, your skin will just stay dry. What you want to make sure you do is moisten your skin, whether with water, with humectant ingredients first, or with an occlusive that is mindful to have some humectants in them. So looking at the ingredients here, right away you have urea, that's actually a humectant. Glycerin, a humectant. Ceramide, sucrose, this and so many other drugstore brand lotions are going to include a mixture of humectants and occlusives. So that way, if you have really dry skin and you put this on, then it's going to work on pulling up moisture to your skin while keeping it trapped on the top layer of your skin and not allowing for it to evaporate off. On a very molecular level, this is happening. Try to make sure that your skin is staying moist. If you're not a body moisturizing person, maybe you can try to pick up that habit in 2021. There's a huge difference between moisturizing your body regularly as you age and acquire wrinkles, fine lines, stretch marks, hyperpigmentation, and just like, you know, the average thinning and weakening of this skin organ we have. If you are moisturizing your skin daily, it's gonna show on the order of decades. You won't regret it when you're older that you have moisturized your body all along the way. All right, so just in summary, these are two creams that I really recommend. I emptied them both and I've emptied multiple of these. Cerave is the winner, but this one is pretty good as well for long-lasting moisture where you don't mind the oiliness. This is a petrolatum-based cream and this is a shea butter-based cream. So you're gonna feel that difference because this one is a little bit drier and more to the point. This one's a little bit more luxurious and silky. So shea butter products have that quality. Go for it if you like that. Thank you so much for listening to my skincare empties of 2020. Curious to know what products you've emptied out this year. Describe them in the comments for me and let me know if there's anything I should try. I'm in the market for good sunscreen all the time. Also a good lotion because as I mentioned, I use the Cerave moisturizing cream even in the daytime underneath my sunscreen, and it can be a little bit heavy, but I like the feeling of really moist, plump skin. So if you have any lotions that you think work super well, let me know. Skincare is a really interesting topic to me. Even though I work in politics, honestly, by night, I'm just like this wannabe dermatologist, and I love reading through the abstracts, and sometimes the full-on research papers from the Journal of American Dermatology, I've learned so much about skincare that I want to quickly impart on you. First of all, I'm not a doctor and I'm not pretending to be one. I do think that everybody should patch test products on their own skin because everybody's skin is going to be different. That being said, the major problem with the skincare industry today is that it's heavily marketed toward young, impressionable people and creates a toxic narrative that aging is something we should try to avoid or turn back or hate. Fundamentally, I think that aging and growing older, living longer and having more life experience is a deeply beautiful thing.
My battery died, but basically what I'm saying is that the aging process should not be feared. In fact, your wrinkles show where you've spent a lifetime smiling. And as your features set in, there's often a beauty in the deepening of your eyes and facial bones. Don't fight it, just celebrate it. And as you learn to love yourself, you'll find how much easier it becomes to truly love others around you. Early quarantine Lisa also has something to say, so here, let me give her the camera.
I just wanted to let you know that I made this video because I'm a woman in American society. If you're between the ages of 18 and 35, if you have disposable income, they're coming for you. And they are marketers, brands, consumer companies. And before you rush to buy anything, to eat anything, consume anything, be sure to have a healthy sense of skepticism. Ask questions, test things out before you, use it forever. And because we are the target audience for marketing and advertising, our fears and our insecurities, our hopes and aspirations are the most exploited as well. With a little bit of due diligence and a reliance on science and findings, we can source really affordable, really simple skincare and not kind of chase the moving target set by the beauty industry. These are all carefully planted ideas by people who want to make money off of you. Thanks so much for watching. It's full on nighttime now, and I just want to thank you for tuning in. I only use products that I believe are gentle and safe on my skin, and I would only recommend it to you if I felt it was worth your attention to. As always, be responsible with your coin, be mindful about shopping this holiday season, and remember that you are absolutely enough. You actually don't even need any new skincare products, probably. I just encourage you to ask yourself, can the beauty industry profit if you felt like you were beautiful? Can they profit if you felt like you were enough? And unfortunately, the answer I arrive at is they can't.